Okay, salute to everybody. Let's get right into the content. Let me play this video.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I personally feel like broke hate vacations. I feel like broke men cannot go on vacation for 4 days because they only worry about getting money or getting back to money. But I feel like a successful man, a man with some money, a man with some money put up, they want to enjoy the fruit of their labor. They want to go on vacations to drink some margaritas, to be by the bar, to go experience life. That's just how I personally feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have you ever been on vacation with a who was broke and was he wanting to get back home? Or have you been on vacation with a rich who wanted to ball out and stay out there? They was like, we finna move out here. You had to extend the trip because nigga had so much money to spend.
Videos like this, I just start laughing, man, because they so
So
identify themselves and they see
here's the video that really inspired me to do this live stream. What's going on? He said first. Peace and blessings to you guys joining me today. But I see so many of these types of video popping up on the internet. Women talking about dudes that are broke, dudes that are dusty, dudes that are crusty, dudes that don't got no money, calling them all kinds of names, shaming them, and whatever else they get into. I see all these. What's up, Vegas? Dave, salute to you, man. Like, and I'm sure you see it too, Vegas. Like they make these videos about dudes, right? Like she's talking about you going on vacation with a dude that don't got money. And after about 4 days, he's worried about his job. But what's missing from her mind is that dude has still smashed you. He's still got in your pants. The dude who you call him broke, he still scored. Now, there's two levels a woman can give a man. Two of the highest levels. And we can all agree or disagree with this. Access to your body, the birth of a child. The highest level a man can give a woman is to ask her for her hand in marriage. So you've given him the ultimate level that you can give a man, access to your body, the so-called broke dude. Did any of these dudes offer you their hand in marriage? So the broke dude smashed and the dude with money smashed. None of them are your husband. So if the broke dude smashed and the dude with money smashed, you got smashed by both dudes. None of them walk you down the aisle. Salute to you, my brother, Red Pill. So you've taken 2 L's. You got smashed by a broke dude and a dude with money. Ain't none of them your husband. So now what is the next dude getting? What is the next dude going to get? Now the next dude, if he's smart and he sees this video, oh, so you smashed the broke dude and you smashed the dude. So you're just smashing dudes out here. Now, if it's the man that you want, not no dude that's no simp, not no dude that's no desperate, weak dude, a dude with actual standard and values. If he sees that you let a broke dude smash and a dude with money, you sold your body to a dude with money and a broke dude smash, what exactly is he getting special? And that's the problem with feminism and sexual liberation. They think that they're men. They think that they are men. And the older women have encouraged this with their feminism. But the older women are up on game. But they're not going to tell the young women, don't be out here giving away your box like that to a man that's not your husband, because they don't care about that stuff. Obviously, we have an environment that's infested with simps. So we got to talk about these old women first. We see them on the internet all the time. And obviously, we know that it's sabotage. We know that they're trying to sabotage the competition because a woman is young in her 20s and her most fertile years has so many options to secure a marriage and secure the long-term relationship. That's why you see all these videos about where's all the men gone. Because again, young women, if they're smart, they're going to get an education, a husband, and a career at the same time while they're young. They're not going to allow a whole bunch of dudes into their box, running up bodies. You see, men didn't create, when sexual liberation was not men's idea. It was feminist idea. Because again, you ever heard of the shotgun weddings? Or you knock somebody's daughter up and you be like, shotgun wedding, was it good, bad, or indifferent? Men never really, sexual liberation is not men's idea. So when all these men running through women, only a small percentage of men are running through women. This was feminist idea. They look at this as equality and power and strength, to be out here to have sex with. They want, that's why they talk about slut shaming and body shaming and all this stuff. They want to remove all of the constraints and the controls that the so-called patriarchy put in place to actually protect women from themselves. Now that those restraints and control are removed, now they're out here behaving like men. So they say. Well, men never really, only a small percentage of men run to women anyhow. And that was basically on the dark side, on the side of town where they kept all the debauchery. Because again, you see where they kept all the debauchery into a certain district. And that was where they got down like that. But the rest of the community and the society looked down upon it. And there was a separation between those women that were decent and respectable and honorable and the 304s that sold box. But now, since feminism and sexual liberation, and they really got on men or anybody who would try and bring shame to, you see, they tried to get rid of the idea that body count don't matter. Body count doesn't matter. If it didn't matter, women would not be ashamed of saying what their body counts are, because they know that ultimately affects them in terms of acquiring a man of value. Because a man looks at a woman's past, and whoever she's made it with in her past, there used to be a time when that was her level. That is your level. Now, there's some women that look so hot, so sexy, that they may be able to overcome that. But again, that's far and few between. So they try to get rid of shame. But the truth of the matter is, they know that stuff is jacked up, because all they're doing is bonding souls and creating trauma in their minds and their bodies, because they get attached to certain men, that kick them to the curb, and they go around with all this trauma in them, because they know women were not supposed to be passed around like a bag of Skittles. And then you see videos like this, and I was wondering, like, how do you shame, or how do you come at people that you allow access to your body? The dude basically scored a touchdown. So if you're saying that your ex was this guy over here drinking the beer, right? You say he's this and he's that, but he got into your pants. What do you think men are thinking? And that's why a lot of women, they're so free now. They talk about their sexual past so openly and freely around men. That's why I always talk about on this channel, social circle is so important. Because, if you want to meet people naturally and organically, try and meet them in the natural environment without even dating them. Like if you're somewhere around a group of people, that's the problem now, because obviously the internet is here. A lot of people stay inside. But if you met people out in the world, like it used to be before all this internet, and you got to because people be their authentic self when they're around just talking, shooting. You get a real gauge of their character. When you meet people out in the open world, you get a gauge of their character. You see? What's going on, my brother? Salute, man. Kevin P. Peace and blessings to you. So you hear a woman, if you want to look at a woman, you hear a woman talk around her friends, around people, you're just hanging out. And I always say, listen, don't judge. Let them tell all their secrets about whatever else, because what they don't understand is a man will be sitting there not saying anything, but he's really gauging. What depends on what is self-esteem. He's gauging that woman's value. If he's interested in her, it's like, yo, you did that? You slept with Mook Mook in the alleyway? Mook Mook hit you in the alleyway? Oh, wow. Oh, interesting. Girl, yeah. And a guy be sitting there like, yeah, hey, whatever. You did what you did, right? That's back then, right? In his mind, he'd be like thinking in the back of his mind, man, this woman is a damn trash. In 304. That's why you always be careful what you say in front of people. Yeah, exactly, Vegas. He said, when a woman get mad at each other, they'll attack the woman by calling her a 304. Deep down, they know it's shameful. It is shameful. And again, there used to be all kind of shame. Remember, you go back to the 80s, even for dudes. A lot of these women out here today that I see, like the sexy red type women, back in the day, they were chicken heads. And like, if you had sex with a chicken head, right? Like midnight, you got caught creeping in the alleyway, sleeping through the window and smashed some chicken head. Like, it was shameful. The women would call you, yo, you dirty. I saw you go in and hit that whatever chicken head last night. You had to have like the chicken head shame for like 3 months. Dudes be clowning you because you got thirsty one night. You slept with a chicken head. They were called chicken head. Like a woman like Sexy Red. Now they're community symbols of excellence, making music that people are dancing to. How times have changed. You know what I mean? Like people like bebopping the. What's her name? What's the other one that Dr. Umar was Suki Hana, Sexy Red type chicks. Like they were called chicken heads back in the day. Now they're like famous people producing ratchetness for the culture as music and shit. Debauchery as music. But back in the day, like if a dude was caught smashing one of those women, like you literally were like the talk of the town. Like, yo, that dude is disgusting. You know what I mean? Like that dude smashed Suki Hana. Like you get the walk of shame and shit. You're like, yo, all right, maybe I did it. Maybe. No, you'll be denying that shit. Let her say so and so is my man, and it'd be like an embarrassment. But nowadays, it don't even matter. You see what I'm saying? It don't even matter no more. And that's the fundamental problem. That's how the culture has changed. The standards have changed. Women have changed. The community has changed. And that's really what's come down to. But you have a lot of these women that are in women's ears, the older women that are really, not even guiding these women. Because inevitably, even now when I look at these panels and these shows, you see a lot of these women on there that are older, past their birthing age, I would say. There's a lot of older women on these panels, a lot of older women talking about dating and relationship. Even when you're talking, we played the video yesterday with the lady at the church, talking about all these single women in the church. Now, most men already know that the church is a 304 refuge where women go to after they have ran the streets for a long period of time, or they've been in relationships that they have worked their way out of a relationship, and now they're single again. Maybe they divorced a man. Maybe they have had a couple of baby daddies or whatever else, and they're finding refuge in the church, which is nothing wrong with that, except that they only now talk about the feel-good gospel. There's no shame for anything. And with Christianity, if you repent of your sins, all is forgiven. So now the church has become a refuge. So there's no real, and now with the Christian religion, it's the, we go through this phase now where any criticism of anybody's past, now you're judging them, and now they hit you with about 10 scriptures. It's crazy. As I said, my grandma, who was born in the early 1930s, would shame the women in my family to their face to tell them, put something else on, you dress like a streetwalker. Yeah, they like, you can't say that to nobody no more. Without now, because they've shamed shame. And now we live in a shameless world where there's no accountability for women. Obviously, corporate-sponsored feminism has a lot to do with it because they want to motivate consumerism and keep women spending money. But it has gotten to the point now where women are out here talking openly about their past sexual experiences with men, and then they're coming back even saying when they try to shame men, they wouldn't be shaming a certain type of man unless they've had sex with that man or been in a relationship with that man, or my ex this or my ex that. But your ex you had sex with, and you had to really get into the right, like, women don't understand how much men respect and value virtues and purity. A man might, with his hormones, play the game in terms of, he may have sex with women to meet his needs because of the world that we exist in right now. But a man, when he runs into virtuous woman, a woman who values her body, who protects her body, who treats her body like a man treats his last name. We don't be walking around your men. I don't be walking around your hand. I've only been married once. I don't be walking around your handing out marriages and shit like, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Or no, hell no. And her body would be the equivalent of a man handing out marriage. If women only knew what men really think, and only a small percentage of men are running to women, because that's most of the men that women will give their body to freely and easy, give them access. The guy who comes over at 11 p.m. at night, right? So there's only a certain amount of men. So men didn't create this thing. And that's what we need to get to the point of. Men did not create this. This was something that was forced upon the society. You may say a small percentage of men that own corporations and whatever else, or wealthy men may control the environment, and maybe they promoted a certain type of or backed feminism, but that really was more based upon consumer spending, because women consume 80% of the spending is women. So they promoted feminism or sponsored feminism, supported feminism for a point. But they tried to change the dynamic to take the shame out of sex. Because you go back to the sexual revolution of the 1960s and 70s, that time period in our history where there was a whole bunch of debauchery going on, where they're like, women can do what men can do. And that's the problem with this sameness feminism, this gender sameness, equal, like men and women are the same. Like, they tried to push that narrative for so long of men and women being the same. What's up, my brother Larry? Salute to you, man. Good afternoon, my brother. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. I had to make a quick phone call. Yes, salute to you, my brothers. But this is the crazy part about it. And what I'm saying to you is this is why it's very, very important when you're dealing with women on the dating and relationship market is to not criticize them when they're talking to us or when you're dealing with women, period. Let them talk. Let them keep talking. In fact, don't judge them. Don't stop them. Let them keep talking. Let them tell about their past relationships. Because a lot of them are pretty much addicted to this trauma thing. That's why Tyler Perry's made so much money making those trauma bonding movies and whatever else. So they're comfortable regurgitating trauma in past relationships and what this ex did to her and what this ex did and how this ex wronged her and all this stuff. Let them put it up because nobody's perfect. I'm not saying that anybody's perfect, but they'll tell you all about their past. If you openly just open it up and let them have the floor, let them talk, let them run off, let them do all that stuff. They'll tell you everything you need to know about them. You know what I'm saying? Women talk, men don't listen. It's true. Then you can make an assessment on how you want to, and then women don't realize that men put them in categories and really, but they'll say, well, they're judging and nobody's perfect and everybody has a past and all this other, talk about how we supposed to behave, how we supposed to value them. They'll have this, they'll be like, because in their mind, they were raised to think that their past doesn't matter. And that any man who questions their past is weak, is insecure. That's why they love Pete, what's her name? Pete girls, her husband. All these 304s like her husband. Because for him, what he represents is hope. So if you look at Casey's husband, right? What does he represent? So Alex Fine, right? What does he represent? He represents hope. That's what he represents. Yep, same as Russell Wilson. Casey's husband represents hope because he's hope for the 304. He's like the 304 Messiah. He's the 304 Messiah. That's what Alex, what Fine is. He's the 304 Messiah. And all the 304s be like, redemption. All these bodies, all this debauchery that I've been in. Alex Fine, it represents the 304 Messiah, the same way Russell Wilson does. The problem is many women don't look like Casey. And you damn sure don't look like Sierra. And if a woman is maybe fine enough, she may have hope for a second chance. But if she ain't looking like Casey or Sierra or whatever else, the chances of a Russell Wilson type dude coming to save you is slim and none between. That's why when you see women, when you see them at the job, women don't understand, even when they're at the job. When they're talking openly about sex and their sexual past and running their mouth about boyfriends and ex-boyfriends and whatever else, all the guys around in that environment are getting a mental picture of all how low down and dirty they've been, and all they say is that guy smashed. No matter how bad she talk about that guy, every guy around say, man, that guy smashed. And he smashed her for a long time. She said, well, if she slept with a dude that just did 6 bids, just got out of jail, doesn't got no job or nothing, maybe that's the level that she belongs at. Maybe that's the level that she belongs at. Unless the guy is an absolute simp or that woman is just that outstanding. That's how guys really think and view the situation. And that's why when I see the women that make these types of video, it always fascinates me, because the guy who they trying to shame got in the end zone. And even if they got a dude for money, a dude can go out and make that money back. A guy can go out like, okay, let's say you beat a guy for $1,000. You let him smash or whatever, or he hit you, he lost $1,000. That body is permanent for life. That dude's gonna make that $1,000 back. If he's a hustler, he's gonna make that $1,000 back the next day or next week. But that body is eternal. You can't delete that. In the words of Corey Holcomb, you can't delete the ski. Your body, that body's on you for good. That dude, you can see that dude 20 years from now. You could be with your husband and kids walking down the street. And that dude could just be walking by. And guess what? He hit. He got something without marriage that guy had to pay the price of marriage for. He got something outside of marriage that guy had to pay the price of marriage for. Period. He said, these women do not see their predicament as dysfunctional. This is what they want and who they are best to get paid. Personally, I wouldn't even want to marry a woman unless it led to an increase of net worth. It's important because what they have between their legs is no longer valuable because they've given it away to men of lesser character, lesser standing in the community, and lesser achievements. Lesser character, lesser standing, lesser achievements. So this is what the problem is with this conversation about provider men. So if you want to talk about provider men, see, this is why I don't even argue with them. Like if they would say a man should pay 100% of the bills, right? I would say, okay, men should be providers. But then there should also be a situation where there's what I call it the sexual liberation tax credit. We're going to take off 10% of what a man should pay based on how many bodies you got on you. So if you got one body, the man will pay 90%. You got 2 bodies, a man would pay 80%. 3 bodies and going down. We'll stop at 50% because we'll stop at 5 bodies. You got 5 bodies, a man pay 50%. You got 0 bodies, a man pay 100%. Because you are talking about traditional values, right? Traditionally, or what men value is virginity. So, okay, if you want a man to pay 100% of the bills, that's virgin prices. So for every body you got, it goes down 10%. If you have a kid by another man, we're going to deduct 30%. Shoot, maybe more than that. We're going to go down 30%. If you expect the man to help fund another man's kid, well, shit, you're going to have to pay or help provide any kind of support for another man's kid. You're going to have to pay. I mean, because again, women chose the system of sexual liberation. This was women's choice. It's not what men chose. So if you wanted to be strong and independent, just like men, out here enjoying sexual liberation without any consequences, you got to pay the cost. So you can't be talking about no provider man or guy paying 100% of the bill. Only a simple or fool will do that. You ain't no virgin. So what is a guy getting special after you've given away your body to men that may not be equal to the man you want to put a ring on your finger? That's why you see so many of these single women are in the church and the men have disappeared. That's why you have a 26% marriage rate, because the men are not getting anything special. In fact, they're getting a woman that's highly entitled, arrogant, disrespectful, a pain in the ass, who thinks that her value is greater than what it is. Like, they tell on themselves. Yeah, that's, we say the truth is women don't want to hear. Yeah, I mean, the truth, they don't care. Because again, they're hoping for an Alex Fine. They're hoping for Russell Wilson. But the problem is today, dudes are up on game. Dudes are up on game now. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's in it for us? You got a woman who's given away her body, enjoying sexual liberation. By the time she even gets out of college, she's been in those fraternities, getting ramrodded and heavily pounded out viciously and vigorously, and there have been imprints put upon her. So that's the downside of sexual liberation. What is this man getting? Of course, yeah. Like he said, when you call them out on their behavior, they love to use the favorite word, yeah, misogynist, or you hate, or like someone like me, you old, look at you. You probably like Mr. from The Color Purple. You probably beat women, you old, bald-headed demon. They call you all kinds of names. But what does men get? What are men getting special? And even it's worse, Larry, because we older. You got the older women who are single now talking about they want provider men and men to pay their bills. They've been out here for these women, ancient fox bodies that had many at an age, that had babies by many men and been pounded out for years, and there's nothing. There's no sugar left in the sugar cane. There's no juice left in the sugar cane. There's nothing left. We talk about menopausal. They're talking about, they've been out here. Like, well, why, if you've been out here for the last 20, 30 years, why don't you have your own money? I mean, your body ain't valuable to you, so you got to have some money. Where's the money? You tell me you've been out here all these years, you ain't got no money. You want a man to pay 100% of the bills for you? And they want to be treated like they were 23 years old. And that's why you see a bunch of them sitting around the church single. A bunch of them be in the church all single. You know, it gets crazy because, so you listen to this type of language. I mean, it ain't just her. There's a whole bunch of them on the internet. virtue signaling and everything else. Hold on a second. So we got a whole bunch of them on the internet. You can't tell them nothing. Yeah, so when they out here broke shaming men, and again, we have a whole bunch of we have a whole lot of bunch of women out here on the market right now that are making all types of video. What's funny, right? You'll see this one with Fatty. Sometimes I gotta salute to my brothers, man. Let me put this up here. Say men won't date you, right? Let me see. You talk about these internet pictures, right? Hey, Larry. Yeah, you gotta let them talk. They'll snitch on themselves, right? I mean, that's the best example, right? Perfect. The best thing you can do is we say things like I say stuff on my people think that, okay, I will say certain things on my channel. We're talking to guys and we're talking to men. But when I'm out here in the world, man, I kill women with kindness. I don't judge them. I got nothing but positive things to say to them. Because my philosophy is let these wild horses run free. Because the moment you put up an objection, you deny yourself valuable critical information. You don't want them to hide their true self. You want women to talk. That's why the internet is so great with these women coming out running their mouth. They're telling all of their secret or all of their dirty laundry. You can just start counting. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can start counting the bodies, start counting the trauma. And you can say, yo, you could just start counting, you count the trauma, you add it up and be like, man, this is a pound and pass. Then you can put her in that box, pound and pass. Somebody's going to get this assist. If you decide to venture down that alley, you know that this is going to be an assist. You just pass it like, yo, you can dump that one. You just want to get look like, right away. You want them talking. Let them tell you about all their trauma. Yeah, man, my boyfriend, he did this to me, did that to me. He did? He really did? Oh my God, you poor girl. You poor, he did. Oh, wow. You said he had sex with you in the alleyway? He did? Oh, terrible. Maybe he should have got a hotel. A woman like you deserve a hotel. You didn't deserve to be pounded in that dirty bathroom. Shame on him. She's like, you think so? Yep. You don't judge her. You just like, yeah, like you don't want to keep them from telling your stories because you don't want them to come and gaslight you about their value. You want to know all that trauma bullshit. You can make a decision then. You may make a decision to run, you haul ass and shit, right? It's like crazy. It puts you in a position of power. That's why I tell you, man, social network is the best because you want to see all of who she is, her representative. When she's talking that gully, that dirty, dungy, grungy talk, you'd be like, yeah, let her run her mouth, especially when her ego's in it. Man, I'm back in the day. I used to be sleeping with dudes, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. Oh, real? For real? Oh my God, you were a chick back then, weren't you? Let them keep talking. Yap, 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 yap. Because in their mind, they don't know that we're absolutely repulsed. And some of us are just horny. We repulse, but the ass might be fat, and the guy might be like, I better double up my condom. Shit, I'm gonna need a body condom for this one. They don't know dudes is thinking like that. Like, yo, we got to get rid of this one. I'm done. Like, no, I can't hit that, man. She let that dude. She let old boy do that. This one's gonna be a mental case. Keep them talking, man. I'm telling you, I found out more information about women just by being a good, understanding listener. No judgment. And then you can make decisions going forward. You might have to hit the block on your phone. Block and keep and run and get the hell away from her. But you'll know. So you said somehow women don't see that they're admitting that the most toxic men are the ones who get the most from them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the question is, if you let Mook Mook hit for free, now we have a problem of value. That dude who's a derelict, broke, degenerate, smashed, and now you telling me you can't eat at Applebee's? You can't with that dude? That's the dude who I'm smashing behind? Now, a guy might be, so this is the thing with a lot of women don't understand too. Some men, if they're doing well, may pay a certain price to smash and dip. A guy may pay 200. See, women don't understand. The guy you don't know if a guy really like you or not just by him taking you to a decent whatever. He might pay a certain amount just to come back at you. Like when you come at him and say, oh, you smashed me, you never called me back. He'd be like, well, I took you to a $200 outing or a $300 outing. That's that dude just paying the ransom to get rid of your ass. He's just paying to get rid of you. Some men will pay to get rid of you the same way they pay to get rid of sex workers. They say, well, why do certain men pay for sex workers? They pay for her to leave and go away and not bother them. They paying to get rid of the body. And a dude might take you on a certain date because he wants to get rid of the body. So he's pay, okay, you can't call me back saying I mistreated you and I took you to a $300 day. I took you on a $300 outing. Yeah, the dude might have smashed you, but they think that they're winning when really they were just paid or treated a certain way to dump them, to get rid of them. Because the guy realized that she was a low value woman. And what's $300 to a man that's doing really well? He's like, man, because he can make that $300 back. You see? And they don't realize that. You know? He said, as a dusty 9-to-5 tech bro myself, I'd rather not follow behind local drug dealers and scammers. I totally agree, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what's been before you. You know what's been, you know, if they talk, they'll let you know, you know. But anyhow, you guys need to make sure to get the likes up. Make sure you guys hit the likes. You want to support the channel, you guys can. You want to keep this content going. No commercials, just strictly straight content. You can send a super chat, you can send a cash app just to cover the cost of running the channel. And salute to you brothers that do support the channel. But this is the understanding right there. But they don't understand the level set, Vegas Dave. You level set your vagina based upon the dudes you allow to run up in it. And what happens a lot of times too is that I played the video the other day about these women are getting married to certain dudes they would not touch when there's 23, 24 years. That's not the dude they want. The dude they want know their past and wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. But they'll get some dude who's desperate, who's thirsty. He just want to have him. He's got that Boyce Watkins look in his eye. And he's just like, oh my God, he's been thirsting for her, like, you know, since she was 25, and now he gets his opportunity, but that's not who she really wants. And many times the women will come out and say it, you know. But anyhow, let's take a look at this clip.
Miss J, you have literally pictures on your IG on panties and bras, right?
Okay.
That's you. No, not Miss Williams.
Whoa.
Because of
Nothing.
yes.
Fitness.
Health and fitness, absolutely. Yes.
So
But what
do
does
you
that have to do? What's your point?
okay, so fitness.
Yes, fitness. I'm talking about
so Miss Williams.
What is she doing? Why is she doing
Let me make sure I give some credit to the content
That's
creator.
fitness. She's
Let me make sure I give some credit to him. That track, let me put his link in there. My brother, let me give him some credit real quick. Right? So you don't, I mean, like right there. Let me write it down in there. Me. Salute to my brother, man. Let me give him his respect. There we go. That chart too, the video that I'm using. You guys, please make sure you check out his channel. But again, when you see women do these things on their social media profile, you know this is not normal behavior for a woman that's not promiscuous or has a promiscuous past. This is a woman that's used to sexually using her body or exploiting her body. This is somebody who's comfortable using her body. So you don't want to, like when you see a woman doing that, like you ask a woman that you just met, hey, do you have social media? And she shows you her social media and you get her social media. Don't judge. Don't say anything. Just look and learn. Oh, you got some nice pictures on here. In the back of your mind, you think that woman is an absolute 304. Don't tell her that. Don't give any hint to that. Just ghost her if anything else, or just whatever else. But don't tell her anything about her conduct or her behavior. Just use it as knowledge and education. And this is the game we got to tell these young bucks. When you see this woman profile, get their social media. Get their social media. And don't have anything condescending or negative to say about it. Let these wild horses run free, accept them as they are, reject them as they are, and keep it moving. So you want You want to get that game, that discipline game, not to run your mouth. When you see women are into this debauchery, like right there, a woman like that, you see her social media page, you right off the bat, you say, whoa, recreational use only. But you're not going to tell her she's recreational use only. You could either run or understand that this is a pump and dump. But you don't tell her that, you think she's the bottom of the barrel, because you want to keep women like this on the sidelines, and you want all men to be educated about her debauchery, because you don't want a man to get in a relationship with a woman like that and destroy his life. Hey, salute to you, Red Falls Black. Salute to you, my brother. Like I said, you guys want to support the channel, please do. But you don't want to give these women their heads up on game that they wouldn't believe it anyhow, because here's why. There's so many panda bears out here and so many simps that are telling them that men who have a problem with their over-sexualization is insecure. That's one of the good things about what's happening today with social media, is that we have so many panda bears and simps and whatever else that come and try to use reverse psychology on these women, even though they still ain't gonna get the box unless they're paying for it, or they're just a decent looking simp with money. If they're a simp with money and decent looking, or maybe just with money, they may get the box. But either way, they're gonna have to pay a price for it. But those particular guys with those panda bears will tell these women, ain't nothing wrong with you on the internet dancing around in your panties and your bra. But we really know that's just classic 304 behavior. But I'm glad Fatty came at her in that way. But let's continue on.
Whipping the amount of hair that she got. She ain't got that much, but she's whipping it back and forth. She's just throwing her body around in her underwear. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Let's see what happens next.
This is what I'm talking about, Miss Williams. This is what I'm talking about, Miss Williams. Everybody saw it.
You are very misogynistic.
No.
Mm-hmm.
The basis of this
you are so
he's misogynistic.
Very, very.
Hey, yo, but look, can I say something?
No, one second, please. Wait, one second, please. Let me finish my point, please. Let me finish my point. Miss Williams, let me finish my point.
No, go ahead.
Miss Williams,
oh yeah, she tried.
You are the embodiment of.
You see what she tried to do? See, she tried to back him up with the shame. She tried to hit him with you misogynistic because he called her all out on her three. See, that's the ultimate game. To knock. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, for the purpose of that show, Fatty is calling her out. But you want women like this to behave according to their nature. And like I said, is she going to change those pictures? She is addicted to the drug, baby. Attention is the most dangerous drug in America right now. It's like crack cocaine for these women. But that's their thing. They want guys like me to shut up. Because one, I'm giving men game. Two, I can give them game from a time when behaviors were kept on the dark side. They weren't out in public like this, but they were still happening. Don't get me wrong, they were still happening. But there was some level of shame. So she hit him with the misogynist play. She threw the misogynist rock at his head. Like, he dodged it because she don't want to realize. But in men's mind, she giving off that pump and dump energy by her social media profile. That's why I say, get that damn social media. Social media, if you was to do background investigation on somebody, on these women, social media, they're going to try and shame you, call you insecure, call you misogynist, say you're judging them, yada, yada, yada. Don't say nothing to them. Look at the evidence in front of you. What you see is what you get. If you see 304 behavior or 304 pictures, and also you can find out what type of person she is. Because a lot of women will post things about the rivalries that they're having with other women. They will post quotes. They will, because they go to the internet for support. So on her social media pages, if she's beefing with other women, or she has past relationships with men that she's fighting over with men and women, like she's, she'll post all of her relationship dramas on the internet, and there's a history of her debauchery on her social media page. You'll see it. It's there. Her mindset, her attitude, what she sees as her value. If she's taking explicit photos of herself in her bedroom, in her bathroom, in intimate parts of her house, everything that she's posting is sexualizing herself. You can create, and you can create this environment. You can get a profile, like the FBI do profiling. You can do a profile based upon what you see. Believe what you see more than what you hear. Look at her actions, her behaviors. It's all there in front of you for you to evaluate. And you can make a decision going forward, because what she's saying is like, yeah. Anyhow, let's continue on.
Of this conversation about Angel Reese. You come in, sexualize yourself for everybody to see, and when Ferry says, I want to clap some cheeks because I'm seeing some cheeks, everybody sees some cheeks. Oh my God, so superficial. Why you do want me just for my body?
Because my skirt was short, and you would try to that's what it sounds like. Excuse me for that term. That's
Where did that come from?
Like.
What did she just say? She couldn't have said what I just thought she said. Wait a minute. No. Whoa.
You do want me just for my body.
Because my skirt was short, and you would try to that's what it sounds like. Excuse me for that term. That's
Where did that come from?
Like. With that mindset, that is the type of person who you.
Where did he say that?
Where did he say that to make me a great woman?
This bad dancing, whip your head back and forth heifer just said he is the type of person that would do a nasty act to her because she has a short skirt on. You gained that information. Man. I need to know, how did Sherlock Holmes over here gather the information and solve that problem? That was crazy. Don't know how you got that, my dear, but that was crazy what you just said.
Not control himself.
No. Miss Williams. Respect. Now this is no. Miss Williams. Now this is becoming serious.
Instagram has to do with me being.
No. This is actually becoming Miss Williams. No, Miss Williams. Now we actually. No, Miss Williams. Now this is actually serious, right? Because it's probably the worst thing that you can tell to a man. What I said was clear. I am looking at your pictures on IG.
What you vocalized
let me finish, please. Let me finish, because now let me finish.
Entitled to a woman's
let me finish, because now you put this is now Miss. What's up, Ricky? Miss Williams, I said something very simple. If you are fucking casually and I'm fucking casually, we already established this. You are having sex casually, right? I look at your IG. You are showing your ass and your to everyone and anyone, right? I now can objectify you and say, I want to clap some cheeks since that's what she's showing left and right. I can do that? That's unfair. No, please, stop. The question is, what does that make me the man that would grape someone just because I had an assessment? Yes?
Because you are implying that you would feel entitled to my body because I showed it on Instagram.
The door. Go on.
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
How did she
this stuff is crazy. She's retarded. You just said because a guy seen you showing your body to the world on Instagram, he now said, hey, yo, I would like, you know what? I like to hit that. I like to clap that. I like to do all types of nasty things to that. When did he say he feels entitled to your body? When did that happen? This lady with all the gaps in the world in her teeth just said that. We're in your state.
You got you. Let me say. You can't tell them anything. You can't say nothing to these women. they're gonna if you put that, like, she's acting on an emotional level, but she's revealing that she's the type of woman that would make a false allegation against a man for just pointing out facts because she feels hurt. She feels shame. Somebody's calling her out on her bullshit. So she will do anything. And that's why I've taken this position in life right here. In the real world, out here in the real world, wherever you see these women at, you cannot do anything. Wherever you see them at, you kill them with kindness. Ma'am, hey, how you doing? Well, anyhow, yeah, I'm kind of taking a break from relationships right now. Yeah, I'm not really dating anybody serious right now. Let these wild horses run free. Yeah. Yep. You see her drum up some false allegation against a man. He said nothing inappropriate or run away that would suggest that he was some type of sexual predator or whatever the heck she tried to label him as. It's wild. Let me remove it. That's the only philosophy that works. No judgment. Don't try and lecture them or say anything to them. Let her behavior continue, and the men can make decisions appropriately. But you got to let them run. Let these wild horses run. You can't do a damn thing. You can't talk to nobody today. All you can do is live and learn. Continue on.
Statements he said, I feel like I should be able to sleep with you. You can't tell me no. You know what? She knows what entitled means, right? She might not know what entitled means. I think that's the disconnect that's happened right here. Miss, whip your head back and forth. I don't think she know what entitled means.
Saying that's not what he's saying.
Is that not what that is exactly what
that's not what he's saying. And can I just say something? I'm trying to say something. I hear everything that they're saying. I want to make a statement as a woman.
Ms. Geraldine, hold on, Ms. Williams.
What he is saying, if you're on Instagram and your panties and bra, and he comes into your DM, what part of respect do you think he coming in there with? And you're saying because you're a woman, you can be on Instagram in your panties and bra. As a woman who's a couple of decades older than you, and I'm going to tell you that you're going to get what you get. You're not going to go out on a date with a man and he's going to take you serious and you was just showing the world your body in panties and bras. But for some reason, women today think that that's okay. And it's not. Men look at women, okay, I'll date you, but I'll marry her. I've had friends dated men for 20 years, and then he turned around and married somebody else in a year. You know why? Because she embodied the things that a wife embodies. There's a difference between a girlfriend and somebody that a man will have sex with and somebody that he'll marry. And as soon as women understand that, they'll stop saying men are dogs, men are this. There's still such thing called morals and values.
Exactly.
And if you're not displaying that, you're not going to be treated with respect.
Ms. Geraldine, you are incorrect. The mindset that you speak of only comes from the mindset. You are incorrect. The mindset that you speak of only comes
These
from
men just said the same thing.
You still only have
they just said the same thing, but you're not listening.
Let her go and then you respond to her.
Yeah, let her finish, because you know it's funny.
And
she's
in
doing
the context of
one second, one second, I can hear you.
What you are doing,
Ms. Williams, we can't hear you. Hold on, Ms. Williams.
Hold on, one second. Ms. Williams, you are on the middle. You are going to be
about to talk. You're about to talk. Hold on, we can't hear you.
I'm just telling you that what you're doing, Ms. Williams. You're doing literally what Angel Reese did. I put myself out there and sexualize myself. And when men look at me as a sexual object, oh my God, why you guys are objectifying me? This is rapey. This is this. This is that. You literally are doing exactly the same thing. You put yourself as You could do a fitness journey with your clothes on, like every man on this panel does, because I'm on a fitness journey too, and I didn't show nobody my body. And
Right.
then
So
when
you
men
were
look
on your
at you,
Instagram with
and
no
then
shirt.
when men
With
look
shirt on.
at you, bobbing naked and showing your ass and teeth, you see, oh, this is great, this culture. You are the type of guy. No, you
That
can
is not. That is not what I said. What
Oh, you
I
didn't say
said
that.
was about great. Was you saying that you saying that you would feel entitled to, that you would feel some type of way if I turned you down
I didn't say
after
that.
you asked me about sex because of what was on my Instagram. That is what I was referring to.
Miss Williams, do you have kids?
But Miss Williams, I want you to tell me how I was wrong. Because you said I was wrong.
Hold on, Miss Geraldine.
Did he say that? When did he say that? Maybe that's like way later in the video, but when did he say that? Now my mind is blown.
My assessment was wrong. I just want to know how.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, you're right, Miss Geraldine.
How? Because of the mindset that you have. Everybody does not look at women who are on social media, especially who are not on social media just to project themselves sexually, because we do have women who are on Instagram who project themselves strictly for nothing but sex. The example that he used and what you were referring to was incorrect for the context of the situation, because he said that he would feel some type of way that I would be incorrect if I were to turn a man down who was in my inbox for sex because of my Instagram. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for showing it. Be sure to follow me. My name is Shalisa on Instagram. Sometimes I'll share my fitness journeys, and I share my fitness journeys in my underwear, and that is what that is. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hopefully that runs my followers up. I'm also a poet.
I hope you will. Go guys, go ahead and follow her, friends.
So please go ahead.
But with respect, okay, friends.
Okay, you're crashing out, Miss Williams. You should just finish your point. You don't have to do what you're doing right now. If people's gonna follow you, they was gonna follow you. This is looking really bad right now.
Only follow.
Right. Go follow her.
Go follow her, but don't try to smash, friends. Don't sexualize her. Don't sexualize her, okay, friends?
You are incorrect, because that is an old school mindset, and it is tied into patriarchy.
Patriarchy. There you go. That's what she was gonna say. Patriarchy. That's an old mindset tied into patriarchy. She thought that made sense. Her saying that you showing your body off to men, and then those men not wanting to marry you, is patriarchy. I don't even know how you can move past that. I feel like
you can't move past that. You can't reason with her. You're talking to the rock. You're talking to a rock. You can't. This is your only option as a man. Your only option. She's got a rebuttal for everything you say. She's going to sexualize herself and try and profit from that. This is the only option left for men. Let's continue on. You can't correct this for them. It's too. Only thing we're to correct this is when she hits the wall, gets old. She's going to get too old, and she's going to be at the church. And they be down there at the church. Where's all the men at? I found Christ. I've changed my life. I'm a different woman now, looking for a husband. That's that. They be all in the back of the church. They all in the back of the church. Let's continue on.
And tell me I'm incorrect. That's like I'm disagreeing with what you're saying.
That's the bottom line.
You can disagree with me, but you can't tell me I'm incorrect.
Let me clear this out. So Miss Williams, one second. Geraldine says something wrong because he aligns with the patriarchy. Like what did? Tell me one thing she said that is wrong. Like one thing she said is wrong. This is clearly wrong. What did you say that was clearly wrong?
Saying that men only view women a certain way because of what they wear.
No. We're going to talk about majorities.
Absolutely did not say that. That is not what I said.
One second, please. We're going to talk about majorities, right? I guarantee you, in 100 men, there are probably 3 men that says, you know what? I see some chicks, I see some chicks, but I'm not going to objectify her. I'm going to treat her right and all that. But I guarantee you, there's 97 men that are seeing and they're saying, I want some, right? Is that a fair assessment, Miss Williams?
No, that's not fair because
that's not even what I said. What
Hold
you
on,
said,
but
I
y'all,
said
y'all,
is
hold
not
on,
what
hold
I
on, Miss
said,
Geraldine,
though.
Miss Geraldine, hold on.
You're
Hey,
not
Miss
discussing
Williams,
the
Miss
content of
Williams,
the
Miss
video
Williams,
either. So
Miss
no,
Williams.
that's not a fair assumption.
Miss Williams, if I was the type of guy that led with my money, was throwing money all over the place, and that's what I posted all over Instagram, that's how I got my women. Do you think women would respect me for who I am and as a man, or would they look at me as a man who's trying to trick on women and use money to get women? How would women view me? What would the perception be?
Would view you as a trick.
So think about, like, I look at your eyes and I look at hold on, let me I'm almost done. It seems like
what you guys keep doing is not fully assessing the entire
hold on,
situation.
you're gonna get the mic back. You realize you realize as the women that's on this panel, if you see a man moving like that, that man is trying to utilize his money to get women like that. He's trying to leverage his money. When women are showcasing their bodies and putting their bodies on social media and even in public, that's how men view you. The perception is you're trying to use your sexuality and body to use leverage over men, and you're not respecting yourself. It's the perception. So if you can perceive that as a woman so fast, you didn't have to think about it. Why are you taking away from the fact what naturally men would do and go, if you're my woman, wouldn't want my woman to do that. But if I saw you like that and I see your Instagram, I go, hey, it looked like this is what she's about. And that's what most men would perceive. And if I told you that as a man that cares about you and value you, you tell me I'm misogynistic, but who do you think would tell you, who would support it? The men that would support it and would tell you what you want to hear, the men who want to actually sleep with you. They like you doing that. And you would accept that. You'll go, hey, love, don't listen to what these niggas saying. Keep showcasing your booty. Keep putting your breasts out there. Do your fitness model thing, baby. Keep going. And that's the guy you'll listen to and deal with. And you may not even like him, but you'll like his message while you push away the guys that actually respect you and care about you and will tell you those things.
That's not true.
Oh, my God.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying? What make you think you greater than Jesus, nigga?
That is,
I know.
Again, that is.
Oh, man. You can't talk to them. Let these wild horses run free. You can't. They say, well, a peaceful life. How come you don't bring women on the channel and talk to them? For this very same reason. You can't reason with them. They've got a rebuttal for everything you got to say. They want to do whatever they want to do. Let them crash out. You don't need to go try and save them. Wherever you see a woman or meet her, wherever she's at, that's where that's where she's at. She has created that for her own life. At this point right now, you're at an impasse. These guys, see, right now, it's all feelings and emotions with her. She's not even thinking. She's just rebuttaling. She wants to do what she wants to do. You know, and she's going to use whatever shaming tactic they are. The women can't talk to her. The men can't talk to her. Nobody can talk to her.
That is a very very close-in view of what is going on, and you really cannot compare the two, because you said that that's all you show on your Instagram. Would someone perceive you like that? And you compared that to my Instagram, when in fact I only have one or two, maybe 3 videos of me in my underwear, but the original or in a swimsuit talking about my fitness journey, right?
Give me 1 second. I go figure this thing out right now. What's her name? Yeah, that's revealing. They're grabbing your neck and everything. And now she's rolling her body on the. Okay, that's one. Okay, I now made my assessment. My assessment is you're still doing what they're saying. You're not doing it. You're half stepping. You are half stepping it. You are showing your body, and then you are turning your behind to the camera. You are demonstrating that you are literally trying to sell your body to people. So it's not as extreme as I would say people are alluding to it, but it's enough for me to say, I don't trust you. It looks like you're selling your body. Just being honest, my dear. The amount of times you turn around to the camera and then that grabbing that neck thing you was doing. No. I would not want to see a lady that I want to be with do that on a public platform.
But back to what the original topic was. The original topic was, he said that he implied that because of women who show their bodies, because I'm a woman who show my body on Instagram, I should be open. I should be willing to have sex with him if he hopped in my DMs and asked for it. That is exactly what he said.
No, you said that
that was the original. That is what he implied originally.
Miss Williams, respectfully, Miss Williams, I asked you, are you having sex casually? You said no. Do you have a husband? No. Do you have a boyfriend? No. So
are you celibate? Hold on. Are you celibate? No. So what do you do? What is it? So are you okay? Watch this. Okay, hold on.
So if you are, I'm expecting to.
I'm figuring out what I'm doing.
Oh, if that's what he said, yeah, he still didn't say what you said. Then he didn't feel entitled. You're crazy. She's bad. Crazy.
No, Miss Williams, please listen carefully. Listen carefully. If you are fucking, what is the problem with that? Grown man wanted to since you fucking. What's the problem with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
So why are you demonizing me for everything the same thing that you're doing? I'm not expecting shit.
I'm not
so Miss Williams,
have sex. I took everything you said into context. You tied it back to me that I should be open to having sex.
You said that he was great.
No, he didn't say that.
Yes, he did.
You call me misogyny. You call me Miss Williams.
Is that not what? Is that
no. Hold on, Fatty. Hold on. So she don't mischaracterize you. Miss Williams, he asked you, how long would you make him wait? That's what he asked you.
That's
the main. Yes, this was. He said, "How long?" Yes, it was.
A long time ago. That's not.
No, that was how we got. This is how we.
Based off what you just said, Miss Williams, if you're gonna add in all the context, then you have to. That's context. That was context. You're trying to add in all the context because that's what you just said. You're trying to delete other context. That's what you just did. She is crazy. That's what I just heard again. That's wild. That was crazy what you just did.
We got here, and then he started asking you those other questions. He asked you if y'all were supposedly to talk, how long would you make him wait?
Because he asked, first of all, he asked me about Jay, right? And then what?
You're gonna beat this dead horse to death. Whew. That's enough of that shit, man. Oh, good luck. Well, that's her way really of deflecting. She tried to make it seem she's trying to make herself to be some type of victim of persecution, of some, him feeling entitled to her body. You never say anything like that. He's just saying, based upon the images that you're presenting, you look at you up for the game. You up for the game. But that's why I say the best thing that happened is that a lot of these women are showing their true character and how they move, and you just gotta let them talk. Let them show what they show. Don't judge them. Don't. Well, you can judge them quietly in your mind. Don't reveal to them what you truly think about them. Never let them know what you really think about them and how they move. You're wasting your time. It's only going to create a resentful, vindictive, angry woman, because they're not going to change. The culture promotes that. The culture supports that. Who are you versus the culture? They think guys like me are misogynists, but guys like me are their best assets because we tell women the truth. But when we get out there in regular society, women can post whatever the heck they want on their social media feed. I ain't going to tell them nothing. You say so basically they want to be respected 304s, which will never happen. Yeah, so you gotta disqualify them quietly. Quiet disqualification. And the portal to all that's going on with their life is social media. Because again, the drug is the drug. That attention is the most dangerous drug. And they will do anything. Because a lot of them women, they posted, they want to get the attention that all the 304s are getting. So they're going to do whatever they have to do to compete. But like I said, you can also see into their dysfunction. They can't help but make posts and say things and do things that, that just put them out there on Front Street. They just can't help themselves. They got to be out there. They got to be in the in crowd. They got to be Look at me, look at my body. Because there's so many simps. I mean, this just sexualizing themselves. It's like a dopamine rush. They got to get that dopamine hit. They post, and the worst, even when they virtue signal, when they post like religious scriptures, when they post, because see, Christianity can be perverted in so many ways by certain individuals. So they'll hit you with that scripture. You know, they'll attack you with religious quotes and scriptures. You can't win because the greater society supports it. And right now, we're only seeing the consequences of this action because of the way the economy is going. Inflation is high. If you look at just rents alone, in certain areas, you can't even get a 2-bedroom apartment unless you get unless you're paying $2,500 or more. And, you ain't living nowhere respectable. Maybe $1,800 or $1,500 to $1,800 for a 1-bedroom, let alone a 2-bedroom, as you're getting into the $2,000 range or higher for a respectable 2-bedroom apartment in some of these areas. So rent's high, bills are high, food is expensive. The cost of living is high. So now we have a lot of these women that are trying to rebrand themselves. That's why all of the, where are the men at? Kamala Harris didn't win the election. So for them, all their programs are gone. DEI is gone. All these other programs, they're going after food stamps. They're going after Section 8. I mean, I hate to say it. There's going to be a lot of prostitution. Let's just say this. There's going to be a lot of prostitution. I hate to say it. It's going to be a lot of people selling box. A lot of women selling box. I mean, with automation going on, all these layoffs, companies are trying to meet these margins for their profits, their quarterly statements and their profits. We got a whole lot of things going on in this society, in this economy, and the money just ain't there. The money that was just being freely distributed is just not there anymore. So, but this one here, you can forget anything. But again, the downsides of sexual liberation, a lot of women, again, when they get on the internet, they have this idea in their mind about how men see. Feminists tells them that a truly emotionally stable, emotionally healthy man with emotional intelligence and should understand and respect and be able to treat them like a queen and not judge them because they want to objectify themselves. Yeah. Good luck with that. Let's see what else she got to say. This is like talking to the Rock.
What I said was, I don't know. It depends. And then you interjected and was like, "Oh, well, that's an unclear answer." And when men say that, they say that you're not about what you're talking about.
Before I ask you, Jay, I asked about me. I said, "How much time are you going to make me wait?" That's literally what I asked.
And I've been saying the same thing. I say it depends.
But this is what we're talking about. You are calling me, Miss Williams. I didn't call you a hoe. I didn't call you nothing. No, you called me on this conversation. Listen to what you actually called me on this conversation. You called me misogynist. I'm fucking you fucking.
Because it is.
One second. You said that men like you that do da.
She doesn't understand that a misogynist is a person who hates women. It's hatred. It's hate. You gotta stop using social media. It's not even a social media word. You gotta stop using words in social media definitions. That's how people keep using them. They use words that have real meanings and give them social media definitions.
Pull up my Instagram. Thank you. That is very misogynist.
How is that misogynist?
Pulling it up.
Going to your public Instagram and showing a picture that you have in public.
You just said your perception.
Did she just say pulling up your Instagram is misogynistic? Pulling up your Instagram? Petty. Maybe it might be petty. Misogynistic? She don't know what that word means. And the crazy thing is, I know if you ask her a definition, she's gonna give you the definition, which means maybe she won't. Someone should ask her. Someone should ask Miss Williams if she know what misogynistic means. Because if she says the right definition, she's retarded and doing fentanyl. She's doing a lot of things.
Of me, if I was throwing my money around, would it be misandry if you thinking that I'm a trick? Like, I didn't say it was misandrous because you would think I'm a trick. So if that someone thinks that you having sex and you can, That don't make you a misogynist.
But I did not say one time that.
No. Can you commit, ma'am? Hold on, Miss Williams. Miss Williams, please stop moving. Miss Williams, Miss Williams. No, Miss Williams. Miss Williams, please stop moving the goalpost. You assumed that I would be a you. If you no, okay. So hold on. If you assume if you know you keep you know you're going to get the mic back, but then you interjecting while someone's speaking because you know you don't want to tell the truth. You're not conceding. If you assumed I was a trick, does that make you a misandrist?
No. If that was all, if that
so
was
so hold on. So stop. So okay. So if he assumed that you does that make him a misogynist?
If he assumes that I'm because of a video on my Instagram of me in my underwear talking about my fitness journey, yes, it does.
So
yes,
so your logic, so hold on, Pat. Your logic, ma'am, is extremely inconsistent, but you're doing it for what benefit. It's what you're doing to paint a narrative that shows that you. Hold on, I'm on, and you got Uncle Ricky, and it shows, ma'am, and it shows this. It shows this.
Meaning to say, but no.
The people who play around with the independents and live in the middle are the ones who actually manipulate, and this is why men don't commit to a lot of relationships, because majority of women take that sexuality you have, take the so-called love and communication you have, and they use it against men instead of benefit from them. And there's no reason why you're still single unless you're still manipulating men and playing that depends in the middle, where you go, are you having sex? No. Are you having sex? No. What are you doing? I don't know. It depends. Like you're not committing to nothing, which means you're everything and nothing at the same time, which means you're a manipulator, ma'am.
That's not true.
I would say
it sounds pretty accurate, my dear. When you just play the gray area the whole time, you're not committing, which means you're willing to jump on either side if it benefits you. He was right there. That was a good one, Ali. That was a good one. He's right.
It's not. You can't jump to the conclusion that you're having sex, but certainly anybody, even a woman, if they see you on the internet in your underclothes, that you're trying to have sex. Can we agree on that?
No, we cannot.
God.
Of course.
Okay. Because that means that every woman that you see
perfect
in a swimsuit, every woman that you see
that's perfect.
You think is having sex.
If I'm just looking at your pictures and I don't know you, but we're talking about people that don't know you. But we're talking about people don't know you. Only thing we can.
1 second.
Ooh, she must be
1 second, please, everybody.
Shit. Good luck, man. I tell you, I give credit to the dudes that can do this stuff day in and day out in terms of trying to talk reason and logic to these types of people. No matter, I understand it makes for good entertainment. It does make for good entertainment, but she's not interested in logic. She don't care. She's going to be, in her mind, she's going to be right. And what happens after this show, she's going to go back to her social media and she's going to get simp validation, or validation from men, validation from the sisterhood, validation from everybody. So the conversation is one entirely 360 degrees wasteful. And for me, just putting it up here just for entertainment purposes and really just to drive home a point. Let them keep talking. Let them keep snitching on themselves. Listen, don't judge or don't say anything because it's pointless. You're going to end up in this circular conversation because the culture and society has given them a green light to behave in this manner. They've given them a green light to behave in this manner, and you're not going to change that with your logic or your reasoning or whatever else. It's like, what the hell? You're wasting your time. You'll give yourself a damn headache. He said logic is a secondary brain for this broad. Oh yeah, she's not untouchable in terms of a brain. But she's going to go back and she's going to get reaffirmation. Remember, she listened to Derek Jackson or listened to one of these Simp Panda Bears or go in her DM. She might even post this video. She may post this video on her Instagram. She might. And all of the simps will come running in and support her. Girl, that dude don't know. They trying to get that box. That dude right there, man. I heard what you saying, girl. That's them weak ass dudes, them insecure men that don't get no box, trying to lecture you. They probably listen to Kevin Samuels. So they gonna gas her up, but she don't understand. It's like them friend zone dudes that be validating women and simping and hanging in the shadows, waiting to try and get access to that box. They be gassing them up, telling them what they want to hear. You know, just waiting and shit, waiting in the shadows to get that box, you know, souping her up, bigging her up, massaging her ego. There's a whole bunch of thirsty dudes all day long. That's all they do. I still don't understand, it's crazy. But I guess other than for entertainment purposes, you're wasting your time,
No, I'm saying we're talking about people who don't know
my
you.
microphone is on, right?
My
My microphone is on, right? I don't want to mute nobody. My microphone is on. What Miss Geraldine, please listen carefully. Please listen carefully. Every time she says something, you switch it into something that she didn't say, right? No. So what did she say, Miss Williams? What did she say?
She said that most people would assume that if you were having sex, if you're on Instagram in your swimsuit or in your underwear. That's what she said. Is that not what she said, Miss Geraldine? Oh, she's gone?
No, she's right here. Go ahead. Go ahead. The question was, or the statement. Yeah. The statement was, if men see you in underwear, right? If men see you in underwear, they are not going to look at you. They're going to look at you as a piece of meat. Straight up.
Big screen. Based on what I got from this is they're correct though. Ma'am, there's no way. If you're single, you're using your body. Yeah, when I looked at her, I say, she's not ugly at all. I would talk to her. Y'all gotta understand, I can find a flaw in anybody and I'll point it out. I'll do it. I don't care. But I can still point out a lady who's perfectly fine. Not fine as in she's like an 8. If I looked at her and said, you are not ugly. You are quite attractive to me. Especially once I seen all that natural hair. But when she did what she did to her hair on that video, I was like, I didn't like that. This lady said that if she assumed a guy is a trick and when he throwing money around, it's not a problem. But if a guy assumed that a lady who have posted pictures of her in her underwear and he assumes she's sleeping around, like sleeping with people, aka she's not celibate, he's a misogynist. No, he's just an assumer. He assumes just like you. Y'all are both the same thing. And what Ali said was correct. It was 100% correct when he said, if you keep saying I don't know and you play in a gray area the whole time, you are a manipulator. You're just trying to use things for your benefit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're not reaching that broad. You can forget it. You can forget it. Yeah. But again, her Instagram tells the truth. I'm telling you, man, if you really want to evaluate a woman quickly these days, and I know guys, a lot of young guys do it anyhow. You get that social media, man. That social media. You say, hey, look, man, what's your social media profile? Let's link up on, get a phone number, get a social media page. It saves you so much time, effort before you even take a woman out on a first date. Before you even take a woman out on the first date, get her social media page. If for guys who even date women, if you're still dating women, get her social media page and have a sit down and have an objective evaluation of who this person is based on the information that they provide, how they move, the type of disputes they get in, their associations and their habits, how they dress, how they carry themselves, how they think, how they talk, what they support. And you can make a determination whether it's worth your time and effort to engage this person in anything further, because time is valuable, you know, and you don't want to be wasting no time. And like I say, one of the things a lot of guys don't understand is how to be quiet in terms of not correcting. Don't correct anything. You're not nobody's daddy. Don't correct anybody out here in the world, in the real world. I mean, we talking this on the internet, but let them talk. Talk. Listen attentively and let them spill all the beans. And it's even better like when you're in a social group and you're not dating. That's almost the best way to really gauge a woman. If like you're in an environment like it used to be in the past where we would meet people at the church, at the job, you go to a friend's barbecue, and a friend of a friend knows a friend, or whatever they are, or a friend be there and they ask if this guy is single, or maybe a friend's sister, or a friend's sister's cousin, or somebody, whatever. There'd be somebody there, and you could say, well, what type of person this person is, what their character is, what kind of values that person have. And you could even check them out on social media. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like he said, when they say follow me on social media page, it's the end of discussion for me. Let some misguided simp validate them. Facts, you know. But we use it as a disqualifier or qualifier. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, you know, but because we don't, again, the difficulty of not having real good community anymore, and so much things is done on this phone, is that when you are part of a town or part of a village, you know who's who in that village because you grew up around them. But now, like I live in a neighborhood right now, I know a few of my neighbors, but I don't really know my neighbors like that. So I mean, I know some people that are right next to me. I get along with everybody, but it's not like how it was in the past where everybody knew everybody and whatever else. Now everybody's so disconnected. And one of the things I talk about all the time, like when you live overseas, when you go overseas sometimes, is that, especially when you go to Asia, you notice when you get into Southeast Asia and Asia in general, is that everybody lives outside. Like literally, you have to adjust your mindset. Like when I'm in, like let's say for instance, if I'm in northern Thailand, Udon Thani, Nakhon Phanom, or any of those areas up north, there's motorbikes, there's tuk-tuks, there's shalangs going, there's people selling market, there's a night market, there's so much stimulation to the brain that you don't like. Right now, the roads are bigger, everything is calmer, people stay inside, a lot of Netflix and chill. This is a Saturday. You know, even on a Saturday, everybody's hustling outside. In those areas like Southeast Asia, you go to Vietnam, you go to whatever, Philippines, you go to anywhere, or even if you go to, you know, to places like Japan and East, whatever, you go to Japan, you go to whatever places that you go to in Asia, right? There's a lot more activity, and your mindset has to readjust to the, you know, how things move. And when you come back here, you almost have to like adjust to it's like it moves slow. It's like a disconnected feel, like everybody's kind of in the house living, and you're kind of like, yeah, like, so it's constant action. Like Vegas Steph say, yeah, you lived in Bangkok. 2 years, yeah. Absolutely. It's constant. Yeah, like I've been out of Bangkok for how long now? Since I was in Bangkok in March. It's night and day. It's night and day. It's night and day. You know, that's why I spend my time in the north, Udon Thani area and the Kompanoma area, you know, because it's a nice and laid back, you know. It's a different environment, especially when you get up there by the Mekong River and all that other stuff. It's just a different type of, you know, the BTS station. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. But like, even for like guys as they get older, the stimulation mentally is very good being in those areas, because it keeps you active. And place like a Thailand or someone like that, it's like the Serengeti, right? You're like, you have to be sharp. Like you know, like all of the safety precautions that we really push hard in the West, like, you know, wires hanging down certain places, or, you know, you got to be a little bit more cautious, you know, all this OSHA and all this health and safety, whatever, you know, when you in the city. And that's why I can't even ride a motorbike in Bangkok. Bangkok, I just use the BTS. I still got my BTS card. I cannot drive in Bangkok. Maybe I can drive through it, but you know, like you got to be like, your head be on, like you got to be on a swivel, because motorbike to your right, motorbike to your left, and it's almost like you have to understand the driving culture to drive in like somewhere like Bangkok, man. It's like crazy, man. I can ride a motorbike and motor scooter like out there in the village and shit. I'll be out there in the village. I don't care. You gotta be careful for those people too, because they don't stop at stop signs sometime, and you be out there get ran into somebody, man. You first saw the wires, right? Yeah, like, yo, yeah, like, you know, that's a live wire. You know, you're like, you would touch that wire, you can get your ass electrocuted, or you fall into a pothole somewhere. So when you in South, yeah, you gotta be on your P's and Q's in Southeast Asia, and they'll be looking at you like you dumb. Like, you didn't see that big ass pothole in front of you, you know, or, you know, what's worse is like sometimes they pour some cement or something like that, and they don't like put good signs up that the cement is still wet. All kinds of crazy stuff be going on. So you have to be sharp, you know, sharp and aware and all the other stuff like that. But it's good because you feel like you're alive, you know. There's to be extra precaution, especially if you rent something. Like you rent like a kayak or something, make sure you check it for no leaks or whatever else, because you don't want to be out in the middle of the water and start your kayak is going down because it has a damn hole in it or some shit like that. You got to be extra cautious, you know, in those environments. But it's a whole different environment. But I wanted to do this stream really because he said I'd be down a hole in the OP speaker. So he could say it'd be down a hole in a second. Yeah, but I find it's easier for me to be all the way in the north. So I like to be up there near the Lao border, Laos. That's where I feel most comfortable at. You know, I like being out in the country. I like waking up in the morning and seeing some buffaloes walking down the street. Some guy walking down the street with his buffalo. That's where I feel comfortable at. I don't really want to be in the tourist zones. So I stay in the north. And that's why I like. You get a more, like, everybody talks about like Bangkok, Pattaya, and Phuket and those areas, but I like that village life up there. It's calm, it's relaxing. As long as I have a nice size city, you know, it's a huge, much nice and calm, or easy for me to flow, you know. But that's just me. But you know, closing it out, it comes down to Viajan is Viajan. It's a French. It allows, when you walk around Viajan, the city, the capital city, and you can see the French influence up there. which is interesting. I haven't spent. I get used to that money, man. Like having like $100,000 bill or $500,000, and I have to bring up my calculator and try and calculate that money because bots, even calculating Thai baht is like a little bit, it's like you keep trying to make the conversion to US dollars, as opposed to you just getting an idea and just using it's accepting the currency for what it is, 100 baht or 500 baht or whatever else. If you keep doing the conversion, it's like it's an extra job. So, but when it get to the point where you doing 100,000 bill and 50,000 and $10,000 bill and $500,000 bill, like what the hell? It's crazy. He said, yeah, you want access to amenities and not too far from an international trip, but away from the city life. That's the dream. Yeah, Bangkok is like that. You can get outside the city like good distance, man. What's it called? Nakhon Phanom has an airport up there, and so does Udon Thani. Udon Thani, Nakhon Phanom, and Chiang Mai. And now they're flying a flight from the Pattaya area, Udon or whatever that airport is, up to straight up to Udon Thani. So you get a quick flight that way. But I think the pivot from like from Thailand is so much easier because even from like Udon Thani, you get to Bangkok in like 45 minutes or less. As soon as that plane goes up, it's ready to start landing in the Bangkok area. So it's quick. And then from Bangkok, you can go anywhere to Singapore, you can go to Vietnam, you can go to any of these other places. You could go to the Philippines, you go, even if you want to come back, I guess that would be back west to go into Africa, because I know some of the brothers now be going to Kenya, to what's Kenya? Nairobi, Kenya. What's up, XL Pro? Salute, man. He said the only thing I don't like about Bangkok was having to go to immigration census far out of the city. Yep, the BTS doesn't go there. At least it did not back then. I like Udon Thani immigration. Udon Thani is like the right mix of expats. Like they have a more mature crowd. The goofies can't really go. They can't really survive in Udon Thani because they wouldn't be tolerated. So I like their environment. It's a little bit like it's set up for longer term, more stable expats. And you can kind of, what I mean? Like I got my gym. I go work out at the gym. It's like, what's it? 799 baht a month, which is the equivalent of what? What's 799 baht? What about $20 a month? Or $25? Yeah, I do my workout about $25 a month. And then the cost of living is so low, like you can rent yourself a little short-term rent. I just sometimes stay at the hotel, to be honest with you. I'll offer them a monthly rate, and I'll just stay at the hotel because then I get the Wi-Fi. I don't cook in the apartment, and I don't cook anyhow, so I'll just eat breakfast out. So it saves me, I don't have to sign a lease. So I get the best of all worlds, so it's that quick. So I'd rather be in a regular community and away from all the tourist actions and all the nightlife. And I think they treat you a little, because for us, like when they see us up in a place like Bin Khan Lan or somewhere out there, they're like, whoa. And I'm a tall dude, so I stand out there as it is, you know what I mean? That's a whole different experience out there. So especially, I like to go in the wintertime. And, I do the snowbird thing every once in a while, get away from that cold ass weather. But I don't know, I might change it because the Nang Vietnam is looking real good for the wintertime. The Nang is looking real nice. Have that beach experience. That's looking real nice, the Nang. But we'll see, we'll see. But the Nang is looking good. I may have to give up my rule for the beach this winter. We'll see, though. We'll see where that goes. But anyhow, getting back on topic. The dudes these women sleep with. Them downing them is an admission that the guy got the skins. He got in their pants. He's gotten something that you should be giving husbands or serious boyfriends leading towards marriage. And that's what they don't understand. And even to the extent that many women don't even understand. That's why I said, if you talk about your ex, if you talk about other men in the presence of a man that's with you, they don't even understand how repulsive that is to us. Like, even if a man knows that his woman has been with other men before him, he don't want to hear about it. He don't want any acknowledgement about it in his face. He don't want to hear about any preferences, any man, any situation before him, because he's paying the cost to be that man, be that leader. And I saw the video yesterday. The chick was saying something about her preference, and she referenced her celebrity crush, which was Idris Elba and Morris Chestnut. They said her husband was, she had her dream husband in her mind, but she ended up settling. Even though we understand this, women have their fantasies and whatever else, the fact that she said that, she doesn't understand how that probably is going. If her husband sees that video, it's probably going to crush him internally, but he can't say nothing about it. And they don't get it. How men think. Men, regardless of what they say, men require respect, purity, and virtues. The woman is getting what she wants. She's gotten a husband. She's getting a provider and protector, but he doesn't get to get that purity and virtue. He isn't getting that. You're reminding him of that. It only upsets him or drives a nail into his heart that he's not getting what he wants and you're getting what you want. And that's a problem for many men. And when women don't understand it, that men, because they don't say anything, that don't mean they don't feel something. If you're not bigging up the man you would, just because he's not saying something, that don't mean he's not feeling anything. And that's the thing about with relationships. They don't really teach women male psychology, because everything is so focused on the woman. And even in many instances in marriages and relationship, the woman herself is destroying her own man by saying things in front of him that is attacking his masculine, his manhood, emasculating him, and as a direct attack on his self-esteem. But because they weren't taught how to treat a man, what to say and what not to say around a man, they have no idea how disgusting it is to a man that wants to be in relationship with you, not some regular dude who's just trying to smash, to have a promiscuous past. Some dudes might just be so simpy that they'll accept anything, but men really don't like it. They just don't understand how men think and how our mindset works around that. And many of them just don't care, to be honest with you. And that's not going to change it. But these women talking about, broke dudes on vacation, it may only last 4 days, but in those 4 days, how many times did he smash? And what exactly is the man with money getting that the broke dude didn't get? What exactly is the man with money getting that the broke dude didn't get, since they have access to the same thing? So anyhow, with that being said, brothers, salute to you guys, man. Appreciate you guys joining me today. I'm out of here, man. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Make sure you're doing something nice for yourself. Remember, nobody takes care of you like you. And at the end of the day, you ain't changing nothing. We make these shows for our entertainment purposes, but the philosophy that I really have is let these wild horses run free. You ain't gonna change nothing. But let them keep talking, let them keep telling on themselves, and then you can assign value to them in your mind. Keep it to yourself, because you ain't gonna talk to anybody, or you ain't gonna change anything. You maybe once in a while you run into a unicorn, a woman that already has the values that you desire, or the mindset, the mentality that you desire. Anyhow, peace, my brother. I'm out of here, man. We'll talk.